There's a moment in adulthood when you suddenly realize your reactions, your fears, your choices, your emotional triggers, they weren't born in your adult life. They were shaped quietly, gently, deeply, in childhood. Not because something went wrong, but because childhood is the factory of emotional survival. And everything that helped you survive then is still living inside you now. Today, we're going to look at that calmly, honestly, without blame. Not to judge the past, but to understand the present. Every child is born with one fundamental question: what do I need to do to stay loved and safe? And the answer becomes your emotional blueprint. If your parents were emotionally distant, you learned that love means earning connection. So today you chase people who don't give enough. If your parents were inconsistent, warm one day, cold the next, you learned that love equals instability. So peace feels boring. Chaos feels familiar. If you were criticized often, you learned that love is conditional. So now you fear not being perfect. If your emotions were ignored, you learned that your inner world is too much. So today, you hide feelings even from yourself. Parents don't teach this with words. Children read emotions, tones, pauses, tensions. That becomes the manual. This is how relationships work. And you carry this manual into adulthood without even knowing. Childhood gives us emotional scripts, quiet sentences written in the background of the mind. Scripts like, I must not bother anyone. If I'm not perfect, I'm not enough. My needs are less important. Closeness is dangerous. I have to stay strong. If I show emotions, I'll be hurt. Love equals sacrifice. I shouldn't ask for help. These scripts guide your reactions. Why you apologize too much. Why you freeze when someone raises their voice. Why you overthink messages. Why you avoid conflict. Why you hide your sadness. Why you fear being a burden. Why you feel guilty for resting. Why you fall for emotionally unavailable people. Scripts explain everything that seems random. They are not random. They are emotional memories. Every home teaches children a role, not because of malice, but because families try to stay balanced. Let's talk about the roles that often follow us. 1. The responsible one. You grew up fast. You took care of others. Now you overfunction, overgive, overcarry. You're exhausted, but you don't know how to put the weight down. 2. The quiet child. You survived by being invisible. Today, you struggle to speak up, set boundaries, or express needs. 3. The peacemaker. You fixed conflicts at home. Now you avoid arguments at any cost. You apologize when you're not wrong. You fear upsetting anyone. 4. The parentified child. You emotionally cared for your parents. Now you find partners who need saving, not love. 5. The rebel. You learned that the only way to be seen is to resist. Now stability feels uncomfortable. Chaos feels like home. 6. The overachiever. Love came through achievement. Today, you can't rest, because rest feels like failure. These roles made sense then. They protected you. But in adulthood, they limit you. Children create brilliant survival strategies. Emotional freezing, because expressing feelings wasn't safe. Hyper-independence, because no one was there to rely on. People-pleasing, because peace was more important than truth. Avoidance, because conflict meant danger. Overthinking, because you had to predict emotional storms. Controlling everything, because unpredictability hurt. These mechanisms were protective, not flaws. The problem is, they don't know you're safe now. They still operate as if you're that same little child. Even as an adult, a parent's voice can still echo in your mind. Their approval can still feel essential. Their criticism can still wound deeply. not because you're weak, but because your nervous system learned to read them as the source of safety. Parents shape your ability to trust, your tolerance to chaos, your fear of abandonment, your emotional boundaries, your expectations from love, your internal dialogue, your self-worth. You might be 30, 40, 50 years old, but your inner child still hopes, maybe one day they'll finally understand me. Maybe one day they'll say they're proud. Maybe one day they'll love me the way I needed. This longing is not childish, it's human. Healing doesn't come from blaming the past. It comes from rebuilding your internal world. Here are tools that actually work. 1. Recognize your script. Name it. Once named, it loses power. 2. Reparent yourself. Give the inner child what he didn't receive: validation, safety, attention, permission to feel. 3. Slow down your default reactions. Pause before you freeze. Pause before you please. Pause before you run. This breaks the automatic pattern. 4. Allow yourself new emotions. You're not too emotional. You're finally feeling what you suppressed. 5. Choose relationships that feel peaceful. At first, peace will feel foreign, but your nervous system will adapt. 6. Let go of the dream of a perfect parent. You don't heal by fixing them. You heal by freeing yourself. Healing is not about deleting the past. It's about expanding your present. Everything you are today is built from everything you survived as a child. But you are not trapped in the story you inherited. You can write a new script, a new emotional reality, a new relationship with yourself. Your childhood shaped you, but you shape your adulthood. This is MindHub, a calm space for a clear mind. Subscribe if you want to understand yourself deeper. We are just getting started.